I've lived in my town for 20 years. It's a small town on the eastern shore of Maryland. I'm an hour drive from any large city. Annapolis, Salisbury, and Dover and Delaware Point is where I know my market. DoorDash keeps sending peak pay for hours that stores are not open. As you can see here, the peak pay is from 9 to midnight because that's when a lot of drivers go offline and they need the help, so they're offering more money. There's only 2 places open until midnight, as everything else here closes at 10 p.m. Those stores are McDonald's and Denny's, which is 24 hours. Besides, DoorDash does not accept orders until 8 a.m. in my market. However, I do not know when they stop taking orders. I was told and shown emails from DoorDash to the restaurants, McDonald's, Denny's, a bagel store. They open at 6 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. They want you to schedule from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Why? They know you will sit for 3 hours with no orders. Advice to drivers: do a little research and know your market. Don't get caught up in this scam. There may be some markets that support these hours, but if DoorDash doesn't let people order until 8 a.m., well, doesn't make sense. And then he says, I think it's safe to assume that in most markets, your chances of getting orders are from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. 3% if in your market they will let people place an order before 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 100%. 10 p.m. to midnight, 3%, if they will let people place an order after 10 p.m. Also, when your DoorDash app says it's busy, don't believe it. As you can see in the screenshot, DoorDash has told me they don't take orders until 8 a.m. here. Just how busy it can be, it's 7:47 a.m. And you know what? This brings up a really, really interesting point. And the subject of this email was, what's the purpose of peak pay? Know your market and don't get stuck. It's like, why are they offering this peak pay and saying it's very busy when some of these restaurants aren't even open yet, or some restaurants are closed, especially the late night hours, you know? Again, Uber, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Uber, before they even started doing Uber Eats, that was offering the boost zones or the hot spots or whatever, where they were offering like the peak incentives, like, every trip you complete, you'll get an additional $1 or $2 or whatever. So keep in mind something, Scott. A lot of this stuff is automated. It's an algorithm, so they're probably in the app. They're probably seeing like an order or 2 are being placed like ahead of time or something. So it's sending something to the algorithm that's like, offer peak pay because there's not a lot of drivers online right now, but they're not figuring for the actual times that the restaurants are open. There must be some sort of miscommunication within the algorithm between the restaurant and DoorDash's app. At least that's how it sounds here. So exactly what you said, Scott. You're 100% right. Know your market. Try and start figuring out the schedules and times of these restaurants. All you have to do is open up your web browser on your phone, whatever kind of phone you have, and go to Google. So if it's McDonald's, or let's just say it's Pete's Deli, all right? And Pete's Deli is open from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? So if you don't know the scheduled hours, it's pretty simple stuff. Just go to Google, type in Pete's Deli, 123 Main Street, you know what I mean? And then, it'll pull it up. It'll tell you their hours. Almost every single restaurant or store has their hours listed on Google. If anything, give them a call. Say, hey, are you open? Just wanted to make sure. It's telling me there's orders coming from your restaurant or whatever. So those are just a few things to keep in mind. Simple as that. So I think you did a good job, Scott, getting the point across there. So everybody in the chat or the comments, do you agree or disagree about what Scott was saying here about the peak pay being offered at times when it's not even really busy? So let me know your thoughts on that.